Welcome to BioTrack Training. In this module we're going to have a look at the agricultural logs. You'll find them under the Agriculture tab. The first three options. Agricultural logs are where we log production from the farm, inputs into the farm and other farm activities. I'm going to look at production first of all. Here you can see all the production that's taken place on your farm, ordered in reverse chronological order. And we're going to create some new production. You'll see when you enter the screen, the first field is select an enterprise. Now, most these days farms are managed by dividing a farm into enterprises, so you may have a dairy section, you may have an arable section, you may have a vegetable, a horticultural or a egg producing section, and so you divide your farm into these enterprises. In this case we're going to log some production for our fruit enterprise, and we're going to show it on the 2nd of August. We pick a farm or asset. The asset could be a greenhouse, it could be a milking parlour, it could be an egg production unit, or it could be just a piece of land. In this case it's a piece of land. And we're going to log some production, and the production is of the type black currants. We're going to log 110 kilos. If we wish, we can put a commodity price in, and we will. Price per kilo. And we should add a farm batch number. Everything that comes off the farm should be batch numbered. We can use a simple batch numbered system like the date. But of course that's not quite enough, because we need to say what product it is. Black currants. And the next three fields are important. We have to decide what's going to happen to this production. If it's going off the farm as a finished product, then we don't need to transfer it to our raw material. In other words, it's not going into our cottage industry, it's not going into a factory, it's not going to be further processed on the farm, it's going off the farm. In that case you don't need to fill these fields in. If you do want to add them to your raw material stock, so in this case the black currants are going to the jam production, we need to add them to our raw material stocks, and we need to tell the system that it's coming from our own production, and we need to allocate a best before date. We can just copy that date and add 5 days to it, and that's the production log, and there you'll see the production. That's basically logging production. So back to the agricultural log menu. The next important issue is agricultural inputs, and here we can just take a look. These are our existing inputs. An input is anything which comes onto the farm which is not an ingredient for manufacturing, so anything which is used for agricultural production, so things like seeds, hay, grain, contractor services, fertilizers, etc. It can be animals, anything which doesn't actually go to any elaborated production. Let's log some new production. So a new input. Let's say we're buying straw from, let me see, let's buy it from BioStuffs. We pick an invoice. So the input has to be associated with an invoice. Is it eco certified? Some inputs into a farm, even an organic farm, are eco certified, some are not. Things like diesel, for example, is not an eco certified product, but it's an input into an organic farm. In this case it's bedding material, and it is eco-certified. Its intended use, you can say bedding for dairy, cows. It's going to be stored in, but if it's an eco-certified input, then you're going to have to specify the location. Non-eco-certified inputs, the location is less important, but for an eco-certified input, the location is important, because your certifying authority will want to know where you store this material. So we're going to have to say where we store it. We store it in the seed store, and the cost is £1,100. It's we'll just say 200 bales straw. Quantity 200, and their units. That cost will then be offset against this enterprise, the enterprise against which this is used. And that's agricultural inputs. You can go back, you can update them and delete them. The third thing to be logged, that needs to be logged on a farm, is the agricultural activity, and here you'll see these are things which are either generate a harvest, or they may not generate a harvest, they may be just maintenance activities, but they should all be logged. You create an agricultural activity log here. So you log the date of the activity, the piece of land where it happened, or the facility, an area within one piece of land. You may not work all of that area, so for example this is a 1.1 hectare field. You may do something in half of it, or a quarter of it. 0.25 hectare. The crop that you're involved in is blackcurrants. You are harvest fruits. You can just say in the comment, calendar days, it was for 1 day using 2 people, but they're only working for half a day or for 3/4 of a day, so we'll just say 1.5 man days, and the nominal labour rate for those people is £60, and you're logging it against fruit production. So that activity is now logged against that enterprise, and that's the agricultural activity logs. When you log these things, you start building up a picture of how your enterprises are faring in terms of profitability, but you also provide essential information to your organic certifier about what inputs you brought in, and what production you've created, and what you've done during the agricultural year. That's it. Thank you.